And also, if his arm is under here, I like to be able to transition from my knees to my hip, right? And so often, especially with jiu-jitsu guys, like pure jiu-jitsu guys or guys who are really good at jiu-jitsu, they're very good at putting you back into the guard from this position. And they constantly threaten it. They constantly work to put you back in the guard, which is really smart. And so go ahead. You know, as soon as a guy goes to do that, my response is always to just turn my hip. Because once I'm here on my hip, then that negates any efforts that he can make to try and put me in the guard. He isn't going to get me in the guard here. So if you're here like this is for everyone's benefit. If you're here like this and this guy starts to bring his knee inside, don't stay here and battle with this guy and continue to fuck around on your knees. As soon as he gets the knee in there, go ahead, Rich. As soon as he starts to work here, bring your hand inside, push, and turn your hips. And then it's over, okay? And I can strike from here, not very many submissions from here, but I can strike very effectively from here. But if this guy has his arm underneath my arm, right, and I go to turn on my hip, well then he's gone, okay? So that's why I say it's so important, very basic, but keep that arm underneath here. Okay, so the next thing I have to do if I'm going to manually go to the mount, I've got to clear this arm. You know, I always harp on how important it is to keep this arm on the inside, and it is. It's vital to not being mounted. Okay, so I've got to clear this arm. Okay, let's just assume that this guy knows what he's doing and he's keeping the arm in solid. So usually what I'll do is I'll come here and I'll grab the back of his shoulder and I'll smash his throat. Okay, as hard as I can, which will bring about this response in Richard usually if he's smart. He'll push my elbow up, right? I'm pushing my elbow down to crush his throat. He's bringing his elbow up here. When he does that, then I can switch my hips and then I can capture the arm. Okay? Once I have the arm captured, I will hold the arm via the tricep, lift, come back to my knees, insert my arm, and then bring him in tight into my lap. So now that arm is stuck. Try and get your arm in there, Rich. See? So it's stuck like that. And from here, I'll start with the knee. Okay? I'll bring the knee here, which will usually bring about this response. Okay? The guy will try to stop me. I'll put my hand on the mat. I'll walk out. I'll do two things. I'll walk out here, and then I'll flare my elbow up and drive my knee across. Let me show it one more time. So here, first thing I've got to do is clear that arm. Okay? So grab the back of the shoulder and crush this guy's throat or face until he pushes up on the elbow, and then I can sit through and capture the arm. Okay? Control it with my hand via the tricep. I'm going to lift it, turn in, pull him tight. Okay? Now I can't hold his arm in this trap position forever, particularly if we're sweaty or if this guy knows what he's doing. I don't have a huge window here. So right away I've got to start to get my knee across. Which again brings about this, where Richard pushes my knee, put my hand on the mat, I walk it out, flare my elbow up, and drive my arm over, or my knee over to the full mount. Okay, so I just wanted to get that out of the way because really what I'm concerned about here is escaping the mount. In the event that you would just go ahead and come to the mount. You guys will do the full thing, but just for your benefit, Anthony, if, fuck man, don't get mounted, but if you do, first priority I have, this is sort of like escapes, right? You've got, these things, I like to do these close to the fight because you got to have them fresh in your mind because they can be, first of all, you're trying to get out of a shit position. Right. And secondly, particularly and with the submission, is your ass is on the line. So not only is it a shit position, but you're getting, in this case, probably punched in the face, or in another escape, you're trying to prevent your arm from being broke or your shoulder or whatever the case may be. So you have to have these things right at your fingertips and execute them, with a lot of, very quickly. So the first thing I got to do, a guy mounts me here, I have to get a hold of it as quick as I can. Okay, I cannot let him stay up here for obvious reasons, right? Because he punches me in the face. Okay, so as soon as if he gets up away from me, I have to get up and get him. Okay, I can sit up, right? I can sit up here, and pull him down, or I can do a combination of bucking in here, okay? Like a good wrestling bridge. He has to put his hands out. People can't steer punches. So if Richard's going to punch me in the face and I buck him here, he can't steer that punch down into my mouth, right? So if he does get away from me, buck and then grab, okay? Buck and then grab. Now, once he's here, yeah, he can still hit me, but once from this position here, go ahead, Richard, beat me. So from here, I want to try and get an arm, okay? I want to try and get an arm. Doesn't matter which one. Once I have the arm and the body here like so, I'll usually try and step over the foot, so my legs are here. I'll step over here and then get as big a bridge as I can. Okay? The idea being that I've trapped that one side, side of his body, the arm. He doesn't have a post. He can't get out there to stop the bridge. So again, I get mounted. You know, if this guy's smart, he'll try and separate himself so that he can punch me. I either need to sit up and grab him, or a combination of bucking my hips and then grabbing him. Okay? Do my best to hide my face, and while he's trying to punch me or separate himself, a lot of times he'll try and use your arms, like using my throat. Yeah. When he does something like this, so that he can make space, then I'm going to try and come in and get the arm. Okay, I want to get the arm and get it as tight as I can here. Okay, then I say I want to step over this foot because, go ahead, if I go to bridge him, he may put his foot out like that. So I'll kind of, in a sneaky manner, don't do something like this because he'll just rip it out. Just step over the foot and then hit a hard bridge like that.